One thing that all golfers strive for to have in their downswings is that beautiful shallowing motion of the club that you see all the tour pros do every single time. Some way more than others, but we never see them doing this over the top move in their downswing. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you something that is stopping what I believe 90% of golfers in the world from getting this shallowed out motion in their downswing. And what I believe one of the simplest ways to help you get this club shallowing out in your downswing. So if you're new to the channel, this is one of your first videos of mine, welcome. I'm Harry, a golf teacher professional helping golfers improve their games. If you take these tips and drills on board in your own game, do consider clicking that subscribe button and changing the bell icon to all so you don't miss out on any future content coming your way. Now, the thing that is holding so many golfers back from getting this shallowed out motion that we see the tour players do time and time again is all to do with the hip movement in the golf swing. So the hip movement in the golf swing, time and time again, so many golfers are told to fire the hips in the downswing. But what so many amateur golfers don't realise is that if they do this motion incorrectly, which 90% do, it's causing them so many inconsistent outcomes, especially those slices or those hooks. Now let me explain why this is the case. So in the golf swing works on a big circle, and to form this circle, obviously we have to move our arms, our wrists, our hands. We've also got to move the body. We've got to move the body in the golf swing, and you've probably seen this in the past on YouTube videos, possibly one of mine as well, where we get the club turning back and forth like this to get something called rotation working in the swing. But then people will say to you, golfers in particular may say to you, right, you need to fire those hips. So as soon as you get to the very top of your swing, we fire the hips this way. This causes our hips to bump forwards towards the net. So when we think fire the hips, try to get that weight transfer, for example, forward, it causes us to tilt back too much like this here. So think of that big circle again from the top of the swing here, and we push down this way, we're probably going to be hitting the ground first. So then we try and conjure up all sorts. We either leave the face too far open or we jump out the way and try and release the club too much, and then we get that two-way miss. So although you're able to swing the club much quicker, it's not doing the strike any good, but it's also not doing that downswing any good. Of course, we want to get that shallowing out motion. So to get ourselves fairly neutral on the way down and all the way through to finish, rather than seeing this action here and pushing the club too far over the shoulder, we want to be doing the opposite. We want to be slowing down that movement. So stopping this motion here and getting the club too over the top, we're going to begin with delaying the body turn. Now, it's not exactly delaying the body turn, because when you try this all in one motion, hit a few shots doing this, you will notice a big difference with the way the club comes down in the downswing, and the hips will still fire, but we want them to fire in a different way. We want them to fire in the proper way, where we see the hip rotating backwards and away from the golf ball, rather than getting that shift forward. So to begin with, you're going to make your way up to the top of the swing, and all I want you to do is pause the body, don't allow any body part to move whatsoever, but just bring those hands down towards the right foot. So my hands are going now towards my trail foot. I'm just ensuring here that my right palm is just facing more towards the ground, just to help set the club face in a better position. So when we get our club working downwards this way, you can see how much more I'm exaggerating this movement, and the club is staying behind the body. When the club stays behind the body, we're going to, at this point, help get that shallowed out motion take place in the downswing. Of course, yeah, I know we don't want to see it well on the inside like this here, but to get us somewhere in that perfect position, closer, favouring that right elbow, but in between the shoulder and elbow, when we're so used to getting it this way, we've got to get you the opposite way, the feeling of that opposite way to find the middle. So up to the top, letting those hands drop down, and you can see here, I'm not moving any body part, I'm just making sure my back is still facing towards the target. Then from that, I'm attacking the golf ball in a complete different motion. And you can see there, as soon as I started rotating, I was shifting forward ever so slightly. I was transferring my weight from the trail side to the lead foot. But look at my hip here. It's not bumping forward. It is just rotating round. We're getting that lead hip to rotate round. So after you've hit a couple of shots getting used to this, working your way up from stages in the swing and then building this up into a full swing, we can start to have a look at the next part. The next part to completely stop this hip from firing towards the net, because as we get used to this first movement, now and again you might find that you do push the hip forward a little bit too much because you've been taught this. So we need to make sure that you are eliminating this movement in your game for good. And to do that, I want you to simply imagine that when you set up to the golf ball, that there is a wall and you have placed your left foot, your lead foot, right next to this wall here. And what you don't want to do is allow that hip to touch the wall. You don't want to allow the hip to touch the wall here. And that's going to encourage that motion again, no good. So what I want you to do instead is make your way up to the top in stages again, allow the hands to fall towards the right foot, the trail foot, and then just get this left hip rotating away from the golf ball. And you can see there, I've not touched the wall, I've just moved backwards. Yeah, I may have just ever so slightly touched the wall as I begin to rotate round, but I've not forwarded this way at all. So up to the top, down, left hip round, almost feeling like it's going backwards as my right hip moves forwards. And I'm just avoiding this imaginary wall here until I hit the shot. That was a really nice strike, that one. Now before I combine the two, just wanted to give a quick shout out to GX Golf. They provide high quality golf clubs for a fraction of the price in comparison to the rest on the market. Using my discount code below, Harry10, you can get yourself a great 10% discount on their bundle packages of 3, 6 and 9. I recommend checking them out whenever you are in the market for looking for a new golf club. So when we have a look at combining these two movements then, now in order for us to do this, I'd recommend doing this in stages, hitting a few shots, working your way up to the top, down for one, like this here, and then shifting that hip back for two. And you can see there that wasn't a very good strike at all, but it's not about the strike with these. It's about getting those new movements synced into your head. So that when you start making full swings with this and you exaggerate this, you see better results much sooner. One thing I want you to be careful of when doing this in stages is it's so easy to let the angle go with the arms and the hands with the club. As once we set the club here, we want to keep this angle as we begin to rotate, and that's just going to help you with the compression side of things and the strike. So into fuller swings, very slow, thinking more like 20% of my maximum speed. Was a better one. And then you can bring this into your on-course or even faster swings. Trying this at the driving range before you go out and play, working on those few movements, really feeling those hands falling down towards the right foot, turning that left hip out the way as opposed to towards the target, avoiding that wall. You'll be able to shallow the golf club just like the pros. Nice little draw to end on there, and that is why I would highly recommend you taking these tips and drills on board in your own game. And once you do, be sure to hit the subscribe button, as there's lots more content just like this coming your way. Comment down below with what topic you would like me to cover next, and why not check out this video over here, as YouTube believes this is the best video for you to watch next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you over here.